What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to feature 3 returns that I just recently got back in the mail. One that I'm super excited to share with you, as it is a Hall of Fame baseball player. So we're going to jump right into these. And the first one is postmarked from Florida, and it is pinch hitting specialist Jose Morales on 1, 2, 3, and 4. One for almost every team he played for there, with the Twins, the Expos, and the Dodgers. So let me tell you about Jose Morales and his career in baseball. Morales was born in St. Croix, Virgin Islands, and he started playing baseball on the sandlots of the Virgin Islands before he signed his first professional baseball contract to play in Puerto Rico. After spending some time in Puerto Rico, he signed with the San Francisco Giants to a minor league deal. He would spend 9 seasons in the minor leagues before he was obtained by the Oakland Athletics, and he would have a chance to make his major league debut in 1973. He would play parts of the season with the A's, and then he would join the Montreal Expos from 1973 to 1977, the Minnesota Twins from 78 to 80, the Baltimore Orioles from 81 to 82, and the Los Angeles Dodgers from 82 to 84. I just realized I didn't send him my all-time Orioles card. That's a bummer. I didn't realize he was in the set because I didn't remember him as an Oriole. Morales would refine his skills as becoming a premier pinch hitter / designated hitter. He's listed as a catcher, first baseman, and you can see he's actually in his catching gear on that top card there, but he was a major defensive liability in the field, according to his Wikipedia page, behind the plate. The thing that most of you probably remember him from, if you were from that era, is that he was a professional hitter. He had very solid seasons throughout his entire career, and overall throughout his career, he had a lifetime batting average of .287, 26 home runs, and 207 RBIs. Not really huge power numbers by any stretch of the imagination, but he only struck out 13% of the time in his career at the plate. Could you imagine somebody today only striking out 13% of the time that they came to the plate? And most of those guys that we talk about are Hall of Famers. You know, we're talking the Ichiro Suzuki's of the world and people of that ilk. So this guy definitely was not in that category of being a Hall of Famer, but he was probably one of the first one-dimensional players, I guess you would call it. You know, this guy could really hit the ball when the game was on the line. He was entrusted to get that key hit, you know, in certain points of the ball game. Unfortunately, someone like this, you know, with the new rules in baseball, you know, probably wouldn't get much of a chance, you know, in today's game. I mean, he would be a designated hitter for sure, but, you know, a pinch hitter is something that is not going to be as utilized anymore now that the designated hitter rule is across the board. So I wouldn't say Morales wouldn't play, you know, during the designated hitter era, because he obviously did. But, you know, there wouldn't be a need for that pinch hitter like there is, you know, like there was during his day. So after his playing career, Morales relocated to Florida, and he did some baseball instruction, and I'm not sure if he's still involved with baseball instruction to this day. He held a couple coaching positions in different organizations, but I would imagine that he's somewhat involved in the game somewhat, even in retirement. So very happy to add Jose Morales to the collection, and we'll move on to the next one. All right, so this next one is a return from Willow himself, Jim Willoughby, on 1, a second, and a couple senior league cards, actually, of Mr. Willoughby. And I sent these to him a little while back, and he graciously signed both of them and returned them. So let me tell you about Jim Willoughby and his career in baseball. Jim Willoughby, a California native, attended high school in California and was selected in the 11th round of the 1967 draft by the San Francisco Giants. At just 18 years old, he would be assigned to the Giants' rookie league affiliate, where he would post a 3-3 record with a 3.99 ERA in just 17 games. From 1968 to 1971, Jim would work his way up through the San Francisco Giants system, and in 1971, after posting a 14-9 record in AAA for the Giants gave him a call up to the major leagues, where he appeared in 2 games, posting a 0-1 record, starting one of those games and being a reliever in the other. In 1972, he would return to AAA, posted a 9-8 record, but would get called back up to the Major League club during the season, appearing in 11 games, starting 11 games for the Giants that year, posting a 6-4 record. Well, in 1973, he would make the Giants and spend the entire 1973 season appearing in 39 games, being a spot starter, starting 12 games for the Giants that year. Well, in 1974, he would actually split time between AAA and the majors. After he had a little bit of a rough outing, the Giants would sit him down back to AAA, where he would appear in 15 games that year, starting 15 games. And then, after the 74 season, he would be traded to the St. Louis Cardinals. Willoughby would only spend about 3 months with the St. Louis Cardinals organization, spending all the time in AAA before he would be traded to the Boston Red Sox on a 4th of July trade in 1975. The Red Sox would immediately insert him into their pitching bullpen, and he would respond by posting a 5-2 record in 24 appearances for the Red Sox that year in 1975. Well, the following year, he would make the Red Sox bullpen, appearing in 54 games, but his record would drop to just 3 wins and 12 losses. However, he posted a 2.82 ERA for the Red Sox that season. In 1977, he would bounce back, bringing his record to 6 wins and 2 losses in 31 appearances for the Red Sox. Well, after the 1977 season, he would be purchased by the White Sox from the Red Sox, and he would spend most of the 1978 season with the White Sox organization, appearing in 59 games for the White Sox that year. After the end of the 1978 season, the St. Louis Cardinals would again trade for Jim Willoughby, and he would go into spring training in 1979 with the Cardinals. However, the Cardinals decided to release him before the start of the season. I don't understand. The Cardinals had him twice in their organization and never once gave this guy a chance to pitch in the major leagues. Why even trade for him if you're not going to develop him and bring him up to the majors? That's a mystery. So after the Cardinals released him, he signed as a free agent with the Chicago Cubs and spent the 1979 season pitching for the Cubs AAA affiliate as well as the Pittsburgh Pirates affiliate at 30 years old. After the 79 season, Willoughby did not sign with another organization and decided to retire as a professional baseball player. Well, according to his Wikipedia page, he moved back to California, and actually while he was with the Giants, he actually earned his college degree and decided to get into the construction business. So Mr. Willoughby, by trade, became a contractor, house builder, carpenter, whatever you want to call it, and he actually was building houses all along, in California, and he got a phone call from one of his old teammates with the Boston Red Sox, Bill Lee, and asked him, hey, you want to come out and pitch in the senior league on my team with me? So Mr. Willoughby decided to sign up, and he rejoined with some of his former teammates in Boston, Ferguson Jenkins, Bill Lee, and a couple others, and he pitched for a couple seasons in the senior league while the senior league was still going, and after the senior league folded, more or less, he went back to California and continued his construction business. So very, very happy to add Jim Willoughby to the collection, getting a couple more senior league cards signed for my collection, and we'll move on to the next one. Alright, so this next one I'm going to share with you needs very little introduction because this is one of the greatest pitchers ever to play baseball, and he was actually the most winningest pitcher in the entire 1970s decade. So who am I talking about? None other than Jim Palmer himself on his all-time Orioles Coke card, as well as the lottery card. And I've shown these lottery cards off a couple times on my channel with my Orioles returns. But I've got Jim Palmer 2 of 2. Now, before I move on, Mr. Palmer does require a donation for his signature. I want to say I paid $10 a piece for each of these, so a $20 bill, what have you. And he was gracious enough to sign for both of my Baltimore Orioles collections that I'm putting together. I don't have a whole lot out of the lottery set signed. You know, there are some people that are in the set that are deceased, so it's going to be next to impossible to ever complete. But anytime I see an opportunity to get another one signed, I did. So I sent both of these in the mail to him. And let me just give you a brief, albeit introduction, about Jim Palmer. So Jim Palmer was just 18 years old when he signed his amateur free agent contract with the Baltimore Orioles. He only spent 1 year in rookie ball and high A for the Orioles affiliate at 18, and went 15 wins and 5 losses, posting a 2.62 ERA. Well, the following year in 1965, Palmer would make the Baltimore Orioles, and at just 19 years old, he would have a 5-4 record, appearing in 27 games, starting 6 of them for the Orioles. In 1966, Palmer would be a starting pitcher for the eventual World Series champion Baltimore Orioles, posting a 15-10 record in 30 starts that year for the Orioles. In 1967, he would battle some injuries and only appear in 9 games for the Orioles. And in 1968, he would only appear in 10 games in the Orioles minor league system, coming back from that injury. Well, in 1969, he proved to the world that he bounced back, and he actually led the league in winning percentage that year for the Baltimore Orioles, posting a 16-4 record, starting 26 games for the franchise. The following year in 1970, Palmer would do this for the first time, win 20 games, posting a 20-10 record in 1970 for the Orioles. 1971, he would go even better, posting a 20-9 record for the Orioles, and in 1972 would post a 21-10 record, and in 73 a 22-9 record. He kind of fell off the wagon in 1974, posting a 7 wins and 12 loss record for the Orioles in 74, which was kind of, unparalleled after Jim had won 20 games for 4 straight years. He only won 7 that year in 74. Well, he proved his skeptics wrong in 1975, and he came back winning the most games in his entire pitching career, posting a 23-11 record and a league-leading 2.09 ERA for the Orioles in 1975. The following year in 76, he would go 22-13. In 1977, he would go 20-11, and in 1978, he would go 21-12. So, if you were keeping track there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years out of the 1970s decade, 8 of the 10 years, Jim Palmer won over 20 games for the Orioles. That is amazing. I mean, just if you can do the math right there, that's over 160 wins in 8 years. So, very amazing. In 1979, his record did dip down a bit to 10-6. He only appeared in 23 games, which I would assume was, an injury season. Well, after that 79 season, he did make a bounce back. He didn't return to his 20-game form, but he did post a 16-10 record in 1980 for the Orioles. He would again post another record in 1982 at 36 years old, posting a 15-5 record, leading the American League in winning percentage. In 1983, he would appear in just 14 games for the Orioles, and in 1984, he would appear in just 5 games for the Orioles before eventually the Orioles would release him from his contract in 1984. So in total, Palmer pitched 19 years for the Baltimore Orioles, all with one franchise. Finished with 268 wins and 152 losses and a 2.86 career earned run average. In total, Palmer would be a 6-time All-Star, a 3-time World Series champion in 1966, 70, and 83, a 3-time Cy Young Award winner, a 4-time Gold Glove winner. He would lead the American League in wins 3 times and lead the American League twice in earned run average. He would also throw a no-hitter in his career in 1969. In 1990, Palmer went in on the first ballot into the Baseball Hall of Fame. After he retired, previous to his induction, he worked as a color commentator for MLB games for ABC and ESPN. He also worked for the Baltimore Orioles, which he still does to this day. He still does some commentary for the Orioles. He actually has a couple locations he calls home. He has a home in Florida, California, and in Baltimore, obviously, during the Baltimore Orioles games. So, very, very happy to add Jim Palmer to my all-time Orioles collection. I know a lot of other people have written him before, that do through the mail videos on YouTube, but I had never gotten him through the mail. I've gotten his autograph in other means, like I purchased them, but never before through the mail. Very happy to get Jim Willoughby on a couple Senior League cards added to the collection. And finally, very happy to add Jose Morales, one of the great all-time pinch hitters in baseball history. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little bit about some baseball greats that you may not have been aware of. Obviously, you probably know Jim Palmer, but not Jim Willoughby or Jose Morales. I look forward to your comments below, and as always, happy collecting.